Hey guys, it's POSTBOXPAT and welcome back to a new video, and today I'm going to be showing you some gameplay of the Zapotron and talking about where did the Zapotron go, is it in the game, and what's going on with it. I've had a bunch of questions to this over on my Twitter, and you know what, I thought I'd cover it in a video, talk about it, and talk about future weapons which could potentially come into the game, and talk a little bit about the Zapotron itself. So I've got a little bit of gameplay of the Zapotron which you guys can check out. It's from a stream, I have the streamer credited on the clip, so it's pretty cool, and honestly it's a cool gun, and it was introduced not long ago, and I actually had the game when it was introduced, so it's pretty surprising to see something like this being added into the game and then getting removed. So here's the gameplay of the Zapotron. He picks up the Zapotron, it's there, he picks it up, the Zapotron, he equips it, and basically if you don't know what the Zapotron is, it is a gun that shoots a laser. You charge it up and it goes zip, be like the Spartan laser from Halo. There's a good example with me doing an impression of it, but it's just really cool, and it's just a really cool gun, and it basically one-shots, I assume, and it does crazy amount of damage. It does 150 to that guy, so I assume it can one-shot most people. It is very overpowered, and honestly, super powerful weapon, but it's hard to describe exactly how it works. It's like a fusion rifle type thing, you have to charge it up, and it's pretty cool, but, you know, it is something that potentially would be very overpowered in this game. Now, what happened to the Zapotron? Now, the Zapotron was added a long time ago, well, back in September actually. The date the Zapotron was added was on the 28th, I believe, around there of September. Let me just check that for you guys just to make 100% that is sure, but I'm pretty sure the Zapotron was added on the 25th actually of September. It's very close. But what exactly does it describe the Zapotron as? As you can see on screen, it says here, the Zapotron can be used to fire electric blasts in short bursts or charged up to do an enormous amount of damage. Basically, it's really cool, and there's a bunch of stuff around the map, and you can use it in two different methods. You can either just fire it in burst, and it'll do a short amount of damage, and also it can be charged up to do a giant amount of damage. Again, this weapon isn't that overpowered if it can be used correctly. The weapon is only available in supply drops, and it uses cell ammo, which is extremely rare on the map. So the idea of the Zapotron was a really cool idea, and honestly, it should have really kind of stayed in the game for a little bit longer. It needs to be re-added and tested to know exactly what this gun is like in future and actually get a full assessment on it. The reasons they have removed it are because it was one-shotting people if you could get it at the right damage and stuff, but you know, I personally think the Zapotron should be used on squad and duo, but maybe not on solo, because obviously you don't get the revive option. So if the Zapotron, or maybe it was just added for 50v50 or a special game mode or something, the Zapotron is something that's pretty cool, and honestly it really does need to be added in. It's a weapon that's very clever, it's a very exclusive weapon, it's very powerful when you charge it up, and the bursts, I don't know the exact damage stats for this, I'm not going to talk about the damage stats, but let's talk a little bit about what I think it should be. Personally, I think the charge damage should do 175 damage, so it doesn't one-shot if you've got 200 shield, but it will one-shot anything below that near enough, 25 below basically, so anything that's below 175 it'll one-shot, which is very overpowered, and that's why I believe it shouldn't be in solo, and it should only be in squad and duos, because imagine fighting a squad with it, it kind of makes more sense. And then the actual burst fire, I personally think it should just be really like an assault rifle, but a little bit more damage, so maybe like the same damage as the Scar, but it's like the triple burst or something, so it's like assault rifle crossed with a sniper, so you've got the two options between it. Very cool, and you know, it uses one ammo for the burst, so it goes jujum and just fires a burst which can do up to say 90 damage if all 3 shots hit, or maybe one shot does like 45 damage each, and they fire like maybe quite slow, maybe it goes like chung 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 like that, fires 3 shots, and maybe it does 40-50 damage maybe, who knows exactly, but you know, you get the idea. So that's what I mean by the Zapotron, and I think it should be a gun which should be re-added into the game. It's a very cool gun, and honestly I do recommend adding it. Well, I do recommend trying it out in the game for a little bit longer. We didn't really get to try it out. A lot of videos have appeared on it and stuff I've noticed on YouTube, and people are getting really hyped about it and stuff. But in all honesty, it's not actually in the game currently. So obviously people think it is, but it's just not, and no one's had it. So unfortunately, the Zapotron has been removed very quickly and wasn't really a major part in the game. But it is in the story mode, and I think it should really be tested out again in the multiplayer. Now, a few reasons why it was actually removed is also it didn't fit the concept of the game, which I agree with. The game has actually got a lot of classic guns in it. It's got, for example, the M16, the AK, the RPG, grenade launcher. Obviously, some of the guns look a bit fantasy-like and not 100% real, because it is a cartoon game at the end of the day. But the Zapotron gives it that futuristic feel, which isn't actually in the game, really. So I can see why they kind of removed it for that aspect of it, but it's worth trying it out, make it maybe super rare, and it would be pretty cool to use. Maybe the Zapotron could have other uses as well. Maybe it could, like, shoot walls down in one hit maybe, or maybe it could be used to destroy an entire base, like you hit it and it kind of like disintegrates the entire building. Maybe it could have different uses rather than killing people. There's obviously a huge aspect for different types of weapons and stuff. And in all honesty, they should probably release a classic Battle Royale game mode where it's just the classic weapons when a game first come out, so it doesn't have all the added weapons. And to be honest, the game is going to get tons of weapons, we know it, and they've just got to be careful they don't overpopulate the game. We've already got the problem when we open chests. We're getting stuff like smoke grenades, less bandages now, slurp, shield. So the actually chance of getting the classic shield has been reduced by all these extra things being added into the game, like smoke grenades, less percentage on bandages, slurps. So we've got all these things being added in to actually reduce the chance of getting a shield. And at the end of the day, a shield is what most people are aiming for from a chest. Obviously, if you get an explosive, a scar, or something like that, you are very happy about it. But when you open a chest, the first thing I aim for is either a shield or an explosive. But the chances of getting an explosive like RPG or grenade launcher are very slim on chests. But obviously, in the shield aspect, they're actually a little bit higher than that. And I think shields are something that everybody tries and gets. And it's very important that they have the right amount of shields on the map, because that's what makes the game the game. And reducing the amount of shields on the map will really upset a lot of people. So they got to get it right. And there's a bunch of stuff this game can do. And it's, as we can see, the game has absolutely took off. It potentially could be the biggest game of 2017, potentially, because of the mass audience. And it's just free. The aspect of it being free really does help for the game, obviously, because the in-game purchases. And the in-game purchases do not affect gameplay at all, which is a very clever move. But are they making enough off them in-game purchases to keep developing the game? That's another question. But obviously, in-game purchases, I think they should have some exclusive in-game purchases coming out maybe, and maybe they should have some sort of little thing that can give you access to little things. I don't know exactly how it could work, but there's got to be something in the in-game purchases where you can get something different. Maybe you could get different building textures or something like that, that maybe enhance your building slightly by a little bit of V-Bucks, but also have it so you can earn V-Bucks in game. So for example, a good example of this, we're just talking about future updates right now, obviously gone off topic of the Zapotron, but I just want to talk about this because it is pretty key, and I think I will do it in another video probably, but I think it should really be kind of brought up upon. This is just me coming up with a few ideas which I do have in my head related to the Zapotron. So I think maybe they could have an access where you can purchase the Zapotron with V-Bucks, as in you can purchase the chance of getting it from a drop, but change the Zapotron completely to make it so it, for example, maybe it does, like, destroys buildings, like all the blocks connected to it or something like that. Or maybe you could even have V-Bucks which relate to something like different building structures. And what I mean by that, for example, you'd get, at the end of the season, you'd get maybe 10 V-Bucks for the rank you are. So I'm rank 50, so I'd get 500 V-Bucks, which is decent. And the thing would be 500 V-Bucks to purchase, and what it does, it upgrades all your structures for like whenever you have it equipped. So it's got like a limit on it. So you say it's got a limit of like 20 uses or like 50 uses or quite a lot of uses, but it basically upgrades all your structures' health by about 50 and gives them a different texture. It's not much, but it just gives it that extra look, and it's something that you could actually kind of, it would change the gameplay ever so slightly, but also increase their profit as a business, and also make the game more fun for us because we can earn V-Bucks that way. And especially with the campaign being changed as well, or becoming free, you can earn a lot of V-Bucks through the campaign. I've made 1,500 V-Bucks through the campaign, and that's just through the campaign. And I actually spent 200 of them on packs in the campaign accidentally when I first got the campaign. So I've earned 1,700 V-Bucks so far from the campaign, which is a decent amount just from doing daily challenges and quests. So, and the campaign is actually quite fun. I have been playing it a bit now after finding out the V-Bucks and stuff, and I do really enjoy it. The only downside to it is the controller layout is different to Combat Pro, and you can't change it. So that's the downside. But other than that, great story, and the story is there. I really do enjoy it, the aspects of it, and it's really cool. I think it's a really awesome kind of like grindy game, and I definitely would recommend checking it out. So yeah, I think it's awesome, and it definitely needs checking out or playing when it comes free, or you can access it now. It's up to you guys. Get them V-Bucks from it. I bought it, and at first when I bought it, I was a bit sad because I wasn't a massive fan of it. But then I realized you could get V-Bucks from it. I started playing it, and then I started to actually enjoy it. So yeah, it's really cool. I do recommend trying it out. It's really awesome, and it's something where you can get a lot of free V-Bucks. But you get the idea. That's where the free V-Bucks could come from for maybe these brand new building structures and stuff. Because I know in the campaign you can get different structures. It's just like an upgraded wood, an upgraded stone, and upgraded metal with like 50 or 100 HP added on. And it would affect the gameplay, and it would be pretty cool to have that sort of aspect in the game, and it would crazily change the way the game is played, and it would make it a completely different style, but also it wouldn't, if you know what I mean. It's only the structures that get increased health, and at the end of the day, structures are something which people use a lot of, and it's the main aspect of the game, so it would make it a lot more enjoyable having more health on your structures so you don't take as much damage, and also it'd make it a little bit annoying when you're taking down structures, but that's the whole aim of it. A rocket would still take out stone and wood even if they're upgraded, and obviously metal would have extra health, but still it would only take 2 rockets to take it out. It's mainly just normal guns which would affect it, for example ARs, pistols, whatever you're using to shoot down the guns and stuff, so the walls, sorry. But yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. You get the idea. The Zapotron hopefully needs to be re-added and at least tested out a little bit in maybe like a beta version or like a separate game mode or something with the Zapotron in, exclusive game mode called Zapotron or something, who knows exactly, but we're making a bunch more videos like this in future. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and once again, this is POSTBOXPAT signing out.